Welcome into your reading for this week. I am T from Tiny Divinations, coming to break down the cards with you. So we have three different piles. Pick the pile or pile that you're drawn to, and I will see you in your reading. Welcome in pile one to your week ahead reading. Let's get into your cards. So, starting with the energy of your week, we have Lotus Flower. This is from the Sign of the Times Oracle deck. So, in terms of the energy, it feels like there's flow energy this week. You have the envelopes, which means movement. Something may be coming, you may be sending something. You have the lotus flower and the openness of the flower. And so it feels like there's ease and flow in this week. The card is about enlightenment. So it feels like there's this energy of this week to obtain wisdom, to utilize the wisdom that you have, to obtain knowledge, to understand things better this week, to gain better perspective, or like I said, to gain more information or knowledge about something. There's energy this week for you to tap into yourself and into your growth. There may be ways in which you can like open up somehow within yourself this week, whether that's like tapping into revelations about things about yourself, or things about how you were raised, or things about how you have moved through life, or something like that. There may be spiritual awakening this week for you in terms of your own spiritual path or your journey, or where you are now, or something like that. Like I said, there's energy to receive good energy or information, or positivity in the spiritual realm this week, or to be sending it out when sharing it with other people. So that's something to think about if you're a practitioner, or somebody that is wanting to get more into the spiritual space. So that's what I have from this card. Let's pull some more cards and get into some more of the energy for your week. Okay, so we have resilience and wonder. So we have succulence, resilience, which has kind of the same petals and openness as the lotus flower in the first card. So that's interesting. Again, bringing that open energy, bringing that energy of receiving, bringing that energy of kind of shining and allowing your skills and your gifts and the things that you have to shine through, and to guide you, and to open you up in different ways. The succulence and the resilience suggest like perseverance this week. I feel like even if things are going awry for other people or around you, you know how to keep it together, or it's not affecting you in the same way that it's affecting them. Like you're able to transmute that energy, and that might be due to that enlightenment that you're bringing in, that openness, that new perspective that you're bringing into this week, into your days. And so like you don't have that same frantic energy or that same pessimism or whatever it is that other people are having. Then we have the wonder card, which is really pretty too. And like I said, for me, this adds in the energy of, similar to what we talked about with the openness, it adds in a lightness, it adds in literal light, right? It adds in light in the darkness. So again, your perspective, the way you feel about things, the way you see things, is going to be different this week, and it may be different from everybody else around you. I feel like the wonder may mean that you bring like more fun and lightness into your week. Like you may be laughing at things that happen, you may laugh things off more, you may not hold on to the energy that you normally may have held on to, or like the frustrations that may happen, you may just like let them roll off your back more, you know what I mean, and not take things as seriously this week. You also, with the wonder card and the firefly, it makes me think of like when we were children, and there was, we would like catch them in the jars and try to like keep them for days and poke the holes in the jars and stuff like that. But it makes me feel like there's more maybe play in your week, right? You're allowing yourself to be more playful. You may have off more time this week than you normally do, so you're able to like just have fun or just relax or just be and not have to do too many damn things. That may also be a part of it. And then also the enlightenment and the wonder together make me feel like there's like more dream in what you're thinking of. Like the resilience also makes me think of long-term planning. And so you may this week start to think about next year, or you may be thinking about what's next for you, and like in a dreamier way, not in a more like, okay, I have to do this or this can only happen if this happens or blah blah blah, but like more in a way that's like, you know um I really want this to happen, or what if this could happen, and just kind of like in a more vision boardy manifesty kind of way, so that's what I'm getting from the energy of this week for y'all. Let's pull some cards and get into the specifics of what may happen. Okay, so I already pulled some cards before the reading for some of the specific things that may happen this week, pile one. So let's get into them. We have the Nine of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Judgment card. Okay, so in terms of some of the specific things that may happen this week, starting with the Judgment card, you definitely may see like the culminations of some things this week. So like there may be endings of some things may be wrapping up. You may get answers on some things. You may have to you may have to answer on some things, or like make final decisions, or like there's some kind of finality in this week. There's some people who are in transition spaces this week. The Judgment card is about like transitioning from one phase to another, and like major life events of transition and change. So some people may be dealing with that. That may have to deal with your family, with the Ten of Pentacles right next to it, or your home, like your main home base or something like that. There also, with the Judgment card, we have the Angel on the top of the Judgment card, and we talked about the enlightenment and the spiritual aspect of this week. And so you may get like some kind of clarity on something spiritual this week. Specifically, like you may specifically get answers on something that you've been thinking about, or that's been on your mind, and then it like boom, you get the answer for it. Or like you may be sitting it like is thinking you hear things or see things or something in terms of spirituality, right? Like you see spirits or something like that, or you have gifts that you like may have not have sat in, and then you get something very validating that says that, or you talk to somebody in your family that also has the same dreams or gifts or something that like really validate that for you, right? So that's part of the energy that I feel for this week as well. It feels like it's very communal in terms of, it's not the energy, the specific things. It feels like it's very communal too in terms of the specific things. We have the first card with the Judgment card, where you have people in the card. And then you have the Ten of Pentacles, where you have like a group gathering as well. So because I'm recording this close to the holiday and holiday seasons, I should say, this makes sense. So that you may be around more people this week. You may be going to gatherings, you may be going to your family's house, you may be celebrating different holiday functions, and getting out and being around people. So that may be part of the specific things that happen this week. Because we have the Elder in this card and the corner of this card here, I feel like there may be connections with your elders this week, especially if you are going out to social gatherings and stuff. And again, it may not be like your blood relation, but just older people. There may be conversations that you have with. You also, I just saw there's these like stars around her too. And so there may be like ancestral connection this week. You may have your ancestors more around you. You may notice somebody or see somebody, or a song may come on, or a TV show or a movie or something that like lets you know that these people are around, or that they are here. And also, if we do gatherings, or you do something with food, y'all may want to do like an altar to your ancestors, or just to put some food, like a plate to the side, to acknowledge that they're there, or that you recognize them. Okay, that may also be a thing, because we have the animals down here. That may be the same thing with the animals. You may have more connection with animals. Like if you don't have a pet, you may be around animals more this week than you normally would. And or if you have, a past animal, same thing. If you used to like let them eat a bone or whatever on Thanksgiving, then like leave that bone to the corner to let them know that that they're there. Okay. Something else that just came to me with this card is the person here and here with the baby. If you are in a co-parent situation, it feels like this week is a good week for that. Like it almost feels like things are easy this week, or you're getting along, or like things are positive, or you're able to transition if it's like a situation where it's this person taking the child to their family's house for the first holiday, or to their house for the first holiday, or vice versa. You know what I mean? It feels like the other person feels okay. They feel secure. They feel like the kid's okay. It's a good communication situation. Like it just feels like it's okay. Also, if it's a situation where like you're running into an old friend or an ex or somebody that you haven't seen in a long time, again, it feels copacetic. Like it feels like everything will be cool, and you'll have like a good interaction if that's the case. Even if you run into them, if like you're going back home or something like that and you run into somebody, it feels like it feels like an okay situation. You have two cards that have coins in them. So again, you may, like we said in the first set of the energy, there may be specific like people that receive money this week, or that feel financially comfortable this week. If you're receiving money, it feels like you're receiving money from the things that you've already done in terms of work. Like you've worked for it already, so you're either getting paid for it. You may get paid this week. You may receive a check or like a payment for work that you've done, in the past couple of weeks or months or something like that you've been waiting for. This also feels like inheritance or something like that. Like maybe somebody in your family gives you money, or like you've been left something, or something like that. But like I said, these two cards feel like something that like is earned or worked for, or that was already kind of sitting there, that's bloomed. Maybe you're cashing in something that was like sitting and gaining money or something like that. That could also be part of it. um but it feels like we're reaping, or like we're reaping rewards from something, or we're like taking it in, and like I said, also on the other side or within that, it feels like people feel like financially okay this week. It doesn't feel like as much of a struggle for you that it may have been pile one, or that you feel like you may have been worried about having all the money that you need for something, but like you'll be fine. You know what I mean? You were able to either get everything that you needed or pay for everything that you needed to pay for, or whatever, and you feel comfortable. You're not like penny pinching or scrapping or anything like that this week, if you're worried about that. So just don't be, okay? Also, the Nine of Pentacles, because she's in the garden, and there's all these vegetables around her. There's cabbage at the bottom. She has carrots in her hand. There's tomatoes on the vine. It feels like you may be having a healthier week. You may be implementing like a healthier meals, or supplements or something. If you are meeting with family, like y'all may be having a healthier holiday than you normally have, or like healthier dishes or something like that. Or like maybe everybody is vegan and like everything has changed to like vegan meals or something like that. um, that's also part of what comes up this week. Because she's in the garden too, it feels like we're tending to things this week. So you may be cooking for your family, you may be helping to cook, you may be tending to your house or like around your house to get it ready for people to come, or just because you have the time because you're off. You may be like tending to things that you have been wanting to get to help grow your finances, or your own business, or like your side hustle or something like that. So that also feels like the energy, or excuse me, the specific things that may happen this week. Remind me where we are. Okay. Okay. Anyway, let's pull some more cards and see if there are any other specific things that may come up this week. I'm going to use this self-care deck. Oh, and get those cards off the floor. Okay, so the cards on the flow. We have sex. Move these up. We have family. And then we have burning bowl ritual. Okay, so some more specific things that may happen this week. We may get it in. Okay, all right. You already know. Right. That's with people, with yourself. whatever. You know what I mean? Long as it's safe and consensual, do it, girl. Person, do it. Okay. Yeah. You need a release. You want somebody feeling on your booty, or you want to feel on somebody else's booty. Okay. What's wrong with that? Nothing. As long as it's safe and consensual. Okay. Always. All right. Have a good time. Okay. All right. No judgment. Anyway, next card, family. Okay. Yes, we already talked about the family aspect. So, specifically, we may be connecting with family. We may be having conversations. Some people can't get, back to their family to like go to meals or whatever that is. So, we may just be having conversations or connecting with people. People may be reaching out to you. You may be having a friendsgiving and being with your chosen family. You may be invited to somebody else's family gathering, but just allow yourself to be open to connecting with people, like we talked about in the other card, connecting with elders, connecting with animals. If that's not something that you normally do, you may need some animal therapy, and that's why they're there. You're in space with animals. So just allow yourself to like meld. These are some of the specific things, and again, because we have these two cards and they're both very positive cards, I feel like if you are interacting with your family in whatever iteration that is, it feels like there are positive interactions. It feels like it's all good. Okay. So, like, um, that's definitely a part of this week. And then we have the burning bowl ritual. You have this person who wrote Let It Go, and then they have the fire in front of them. They have their crystals, their grounding, they have the light shining behind them. So, part of this to me goes with the enlightenment card that we had for the energy, and part of specifically the energy of enlightenment and the allowing things to come in and having more perspective and knowing where to go and just being more in line may have to do with you letting go of certain things, releasing certain things so that you can have different perspectives, so that you can feel lighter, so that you can um, feel like you are transforming, sitting more in your awakening, things like that, right? So part of how you can do a burning bowl, and this also, thank you, Spirit. This also is a good exercise to do before if you are somebody who is going to meet with your family, and there are people that you don't necessarily fuck with, or that like always get on you or annoy you, or there's like negative interactions with, or something like that, right? So part of what we can do is take the things that either, and we'll go with the people that want to release. If you have things to release, if you have emotions that you've been holding on to, if you have feelings or resentments or just like things that you don't want to do anymore or whatever it is, we're writing those things down. We then put our intention of releasing as this paper burns, or whatever you wrote it on, as this burns, so does whatever the things are, so does the energy of the things, so does my attachment to the things like that, right? And you can think that same thing once you throw it in, and think that into the fire, right? We can also have that on the flip side for the people who are dealing with these people who treat you a certain way or say certain things or something like that. Part of what we can do is like um, let go of I am not, whatever negative thing they portray me as. I am not, um, uh, whatever adjective they put on me. I am not, you know what I mean? Like, you just write down these things that they project onto you, or that they make you feel, or whatever, in terms of the negative things that you don't want to feel, that that you are not, and burn them shits away. You know what I mean? So that they don't even affect you if and when those times come in. And more, because you're doing a burn-in ritual, and it's like, a working in itself, you may stop them in they goddamn tracks from saying it. You may not even have those situations, which is why we would then have these good interactions. You know what I mean? That might be part of it too. So, like, that's something to think about. If that's something that's within your practice to do, if you have a safe place to do it, always do it in something safe. I like to burn bowl, like, if I don't have a burn bowl, actually, I like to use like just one of them aluminum ass pans, because we're around the holidays. Aluminum pans is everywhere, baby. Okay, so get one of them big aluminum pans if you need to, or like a pie pan or whatever. Do it in a safe space. Make sure it's not windy outside. If you're doing it outside, I would prefer for you to do it outside if it's not windy. Okay, you don't want to light nothing up in your house. But if not, then like do it somewhere near water. Okay, do it safely, and for some people, do it lower. Okay, that's interesting. Do it on a stove and have the lid, so you put the fucking lid on it. Interesting. Very specific. for somebody. Okay. Anyway, the last card we have for specific things, we have read on the bottom. I can't even get it. We have read on the bottom. So if you have the time available to you, if you're traveling, if you have more time at home this week, then definitely pick up a book. Um, turn on an audiobook. Turn on like a podcast that where they read to you. I have a podcast where I read to you. Okay, if you didn't already know, the November Tiny Fairy Tale episode is out right now on Substack, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. I will put the link below. So let me read to you. But either way, pick up some books. We're getting knowledge, right? We had the Enlightenment card. We talked about the information that we could gather. So I feel like part of this is telling you to obtain specific information, things that you're interested in, things that have been coming to you, things that you've been wanting to learn more about, getting back to books that you haven't finished reading. For some people, it's fiction because you need to add in that wonder or that fun or that dreaminess to your life. So yeah, these are the specific things that I'm getting in terms of what may happen this week, pile one. Let's wrap up your reading with some words of wisdom. Okay, so for the words of wisdom, we are using the Chant for Change cards. Okay. Seed ho hum. Seed ho hum. I am perfect and complete as I am. And you can see in the picture all the puzzle pieces are together. All the puzzle pieces are put together to make a beautiful picture. Okay. I love that. So that is your reading for this week, pile one. Let me know how this reading is. Let me know how your week is. Let me know how all of this makes sense. As I said, we have a podcast where I read to you. It's called Fairy Time. It's called Tiny Fairy Tales. I'm sorry. And the November Tiny Fairy Tales is out right now. Like I said, on Apple Podcasts, on Substack, on Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube if you're not already subscribed. Definitely comment and let me know. Share with anybody that needs a reading for this week or in general, because we got all kinds of readings on the channel. Okay. Book with me. I have added 3 new reading types on wildheartbotanica.com. They are email readings. We also have the live readings. So if you would like your own personal reading, you need more insight, you want to connect with your people, I would love to read with you. And follow me on all the socials at Tiny Divinations. Yeah. Have a wonderful holiday. If you are watching this around the holiday, whatever holiday it is, because this is a timeless reading. Okay. All right. And thank y'all so much for watching. If you have another pile, I will see you there. If not, I will see you in your next reading. Welcome in pile 2 to your reading for this week. Let's get into your cards. So the first card you have is the Cowrie Shells Abundance. This is the first card for the energy of your week. So it definitely seems like the energy of your week is good. You have things coming in, you may be receiving things, you may be growing things or seeing more of things. You may be seeing things work out. There may be ease to your week. There may have like be literal abundance coming in your week. Cowrie shells used to be used for currency. So you may be getting some coin this week. There may be more this week in terms of you seeing more things happening. You may be having more opportunities. You may have more to do this week, more events, more activities, like I said. So this is a little bit of what I'm getting from the cowrie. Also, the cowrie shells were used for jewelry. So you may be receiving gifts this week. You may be exchanging gifts. I know it's a little bit early for that. This is the holiday season, but you may be exchanging gifts with somebody or receiving gifts or receiving something unexpected. So that's kind of the energy that I'm getting from this card. Let's pull a few more cards and see a little bit more of the energy for this week. So for this, we are using the Sign of the Times Oracle cards. Okay, so we have crystals, achievements, and peace, harmony. So yeah, the energy of your week, it feels easy. It feels like streamlined. It feels like things flow. It feels like things come together that you have to do. It feels like you'll get recognition for something that you do. If this is like, since I'm reading this around the holidays, if this is something that you're putting on or putting together, things definitely flow. They come together. They go the way that you want them to. Everybody acts the way that you want them to, or something like that. You may be getting recognition this week for like the ways in which you've grown, what you've accomplished, things that you've worked for, or ways in which you've expanded, you know, whether that's literally or figuratively, like, you know, in terms of your personality or in terms of your spiritual growth or things like that. Um, the piece also, this is like a wall, you're kind of outside, so again, if you have to go and do things this week, it feels like there's an ease to it. You get there easily, you have fun while you're there, everybody is cool, there's no discord, there's no confrontations, there's no bullshit. It just feels very like things come together, things meld together, they melt together, you know. So that's kind of the energy that I'm getting from your week. You also have this plant in the background of the crystal card. So you may see things that you're doing grow this week, like we said with the cowrie shells, where there's more or there's growth with it. You may be already working on something, or something that you're working on, you know, you have like a culmination of, or you see the real potential in it or something like that. But it feels like, just in general, your week just feels really good. It feels full, and it feels comforting, and just like very expansive. You know, it's given Jupiter. Like the energy of your week is very Jupiterian. You know, so yeah. Let me see if there's anything else. And then fun and good luck. So I love that. Your week feels so good, Pile 2. Like very, very good. I Please let me know that this is how this is showing up for you. And like I said, the week feels good, so it may be the whole week, and or you may have just specific consistent things happen this week, where you're having fun, where you're feeling good, where you're getting along with people, where you're receiving money, where you're finding money, where you're winning things, where you're receiving compliments or recognition for the things that you've already done and the work you've already put in. So yeah, this is definitely the energy of your week. Let's get into some more specific things that may happen this week. Okay, so I've already pulled some cards for some of the specific things that may happen this week. We have, that, yeah, this is supposed to be reverse. Oh, everything else was right. My bad. Okay, so I've already pulled some cards for this. Why is okay. Okay, so I've already pulled some cards for the specific things that may happen this week. So we have the High Priestess. We have the Six of Cups reverse. And then we have the Ace of Cups. Okay, so in terms of some of the specific things that may happen this week, the first thing that actually caught my eye with the High Priestess is how she's dressed. So, like I said, and the other cards, I feel like people are going out this week. You're going out, you're getting dressed up, you're doing things, you're looking good, you're embodying the places that you are and the spaces that you're in, especially for those who are like feeling themselves, or just like in a new level of confidence with it. You know, your dress reflects that. It feels like this week. With the high priestess, also some specific things that may happen this week. You may be, it feels like if you are out, you may be like leading conversations, or you may be somebody that's super fascinating to people based on like the knowledge that you have, or what you do. You may be somebody that does a certain type of spiritual practice, or you're into something metaphysical or occult, and you have conversations about it and people are like really drawn into what you're saying. You may be in conversations with other like-minded spiritual people, and you recognize that you like you know more than you thought that you did, or that you have more knowledge and to share than you thought that you did, or something like that. There's also the computer there. So there's this energy of like looking into occult things this week, looking into spiritual matters, looking into like magical things that interest you, that you're drawn to, that like come into your lap. It feels like some people could like wind up in a hole, like you like start searching one thing and then you just wind up, you know, deeper and deeper and deeper, and you, like, you know, you wind up in a place where you're like, I don't even know how I got here, but all of this shit's fascinating as fuck. You know what I mean? Like that could definitely be a thing this week. Specifically, we have like moments of intuit this week, or like psychic sense, or like downloads or dreams, or something very specific that comes up that you need to pay attention to. I'm saying it, so I'm validating that like you're seeing what you're seeing, you're hearing what you're hearing, you know, things like that. Um, it also feels like you'll have some kind of validation of that this week. Like the sheet behind her, it feels like you'll like uncover a part of your psychic self, or uncover some spiritual knowledge, or some magical knowledge, or uncover a way to do a working or something like that this week. Something that's related to like high priestess like energy. Okay, so that's some of the specifics that come up with the high priestess. Within the intuitive nature of it, within sitting in your psychic senses, for some people, you have people coming back in. So like people who you used to either date or be friends with, or something like that, you may have an interaction with, or have them try to come back into your life. And I want you to, again, with the high priestess, sit with the energy of like why you stop dealing with them. Sit with the energy of how they're coming, and what their energy feels like, and what that intuitively says to you. Sit with the energy of where you are, right, and how you've grown, and how they may or may not have. Okay. So that's part of what comes up to me with the Six of Cups. Also, with the Six of Cups, it makes me think of like being triggered, like your inner child being triggered. Let me turn it around so you can see. I sometimes in this card I see this as this person's inner child. And so with it being reversed, I feel like there may be instances this week where your inner child is triggered, and you have to let them know that we're not there anymore, and we're okay, and I'm going to take care of you, or I'm going to protect you, or I'm going to nurture you, or I see you, or I hear you, or whatever it is that comes up that makes them feel away, right? And um, recognizing that, and being able to sit with the elevated parts of you, or the healed parts of you that can help your inner child through that, will help you react differently than you might normally, right? But like part of why this comes up is because, like I said, we're in communion or community with other people, especially with some family. And so there may be things that people do that they've been doing your whole fucking life. You know what I mean? They've been doing to you your whole life that's negative, that they do again, that you have the opportunity this time to react to differently, to respond differently, to let your inner child know that this, we're not there anymore, this ain't that kind of thing, you know? So that's also, I feel like, what comes up for me with the Six of Cups. And again, if you are triggered by it and you had that response, that's okay. Just recognize that that's what it is, and sit with what they need, and you know what your inner child needs to hear or to do, to be able to not have that response anymore, because you're there as an adult to take care of y'all, you know. Let me know if that does make sense. Then you have the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Cups, oh, The Ace of Cups reminds me of the abundance and the calories that we had, because there's just a lot of flow in this week. There's a lot coming into you. There's a lot of opportunity for healing. There's a lot of opportunity for money to come in. There's opportunity for opportunities. You know what I mean? Like there's just this energy of more. So, like I said, you may specifically have things come into you. There, you may have people pour into you. You may have situations where you receive a lot of compliments, or you receive recognition, like I said, or there's like literal, gifts being given to you, or you may find money somewhere. You may win big, like in terms of hitting something. You know what I mean? That may be something specific that happens. You may have an emotionally connected conversation that you've been waiting to have for a really long time, or you may spark a situation with somebody that becomes something really, really fruitful. Like there's just this, there's energy for these really um, healing, spacious things to happen this week, if that makes sense. So these are some of the specific things I think may happen. Let's pull a few more cards and see what other specific things may happen this week. Energy work. And you see, like in this card, you have the person with all their chakras in alignment, right? They are at peace. They're in a meditative state, like they're calm. Everything is in flow. Everything's open. Everything is cool. And that's kind of how it feels, like, So yeah, let me get some more. Is there anything else? Oh. Sound healing. And then we have sweet treat. And pleasure is on the bottom. Okay, so other specific things that may happen this week, like I already talked about with this, you just may be feeling in alignment. You just may be feeling open, like everything is working for you. You may specifically want to work on your chakras, or specific chakras that you're drawn to. If there are any specific chakras that you are drawn to in this picture, then I would work on that. Starting with the root chakra. This is the sacral chakra. This is the solar plexus, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the third eye, and then the crown. So if any of those specifically, you're drawn to any of those specifically, or, you may want to work with any of these energies if you are drawn to them this week. You also have sound healing. So music may play a big part in your week. You may go to a concert, or you may go to live music. You may go out to a party. You may actually go to like a sound healing session, or use hertz or sound bowls. If you have sound bowls, you may not have used your sound bowls in a while. You may want to break them out this week. If you have company coming over, if you're going to somebody else's, you may want to bring a sound bowl. You may be surprised the results that you see with the sound bowl, because then you're giving energy work, you know what I mean? And everybody's getting in alignment, and that may be something that you want to do. Also, this may be like something specific to you, where you're putting in your headphones and you're doing like a sound meditation, or some kind of sound healing like that. I just saw like, I don't, can sound be color? Is there like color sound healing? I don't know. I just saw that in my head, like listening to the color red or some shit. I don't know. I don't know what that means, but that could be a thing. If you know what I'm talking about, please tell me. Okay. Then the other thing we have specifically is sweet treat. So it feels like people are, like I said, with feeling like a really good week. It feels like there may be that embodiment in the things that you eat, or the things that you're doing. You may be making cookies or cakes, or going to the bakery, or getting something sweet, or just eating things this week that you really love, or like sharing things that you really love with other people, or like I said, receiving gifts. Like this could be definitely a really good week for you to just receive things, for people to buy you things, for people to um, give to you, like that's also part of the energy this week. And then with the pleasure on the bottom, you definitely are feeling good this week, and you need to add in more things that make you feel that way, right? If it's just you and you don't have a lot of community and you're not really going out, then make sure that you're doing things that make you feel good, that bring joy to you, that make you happy, that don't cause you to think or think too far into the future or into the past, but just like are all about the feels. So these are the things that I'm seeing in terms of the specifics for your week. Let's wrap up your reading by getting the words of wisdom for the week. Okay, so for our words of wisdom for the week, we're using the Chant for Change cards. Okay. Dharma hum. You don't see that? There you go. Dharma hum. Life purpose that leads to spiritual awakening. Life purpose that leads to spiritual awakening. And yeah, I think that makes sense to me because um you're on a different wave this week. It's like you're on a different level. The energy is definitely different, and you can use that to harness and to lean into to kind of make that more than just a week's thing. Like that makes sense to me. So yeah, these are your words of wisdom for the week. This is your reading pile 2. Thank you so much for reading with me. If you'd like your own reading, book with me at wildheartbotanica.com. I have 3 new email options. There is still the live option out for you, so I would love to read with you. If you're not already subscribed on Substack, subscribe on Substack or on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify for our monthly collective reading and our fairy tale reading. Our November fairy tale reading just came out last week. We'll have the December reading in about a week or so. If you're not already subscribed on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow me on all the socials at Tiny Divination. And yeah, thank you so much for reading with me. If you have another pile, I will see you there. If not, I will see you in your next reading. Welcome in pile 3 to your reading for this week. Let's get into your cards. So, starting with the energy of your week, we have joy, smiley face, and I love that all of the cards this week for all the piles were so good. So I felt like you couldn't go wrong wherever you picked. You know what I mean? But so the energy of this week definitely feels good. It feels like you're happy. It feels like you're doing things that make you happy. It feels like other people are making you happy. It feels like you feel taken care of. You're either taking care of yourself or others are taking care of you. Okay, their nails are done, nails laid, or nails taking care of you. The nails are done. You definitely feel like it's like pamper energy, or like I'm doing the things that I want to do. I'm taking care of myself. I'm like putting in the little extra things that I like. The jacket over the hand feels like the person feels like comfortable. You feel comfortable. You feel secure this week. You feel like 'cause when I put my like the sweater over my hands, I feel like it's like a comfort thing. You know what I mean? It's you want to feel safe. You want to feel cozy, and it feels like that's part of the energy this week. Safe, cozy, comforted, secure, taken care of, happy, elated just came to my head. So yeah, that's part of the energy that I'm getting from this card for sure. So let's pull some more cards and get into some more of the energy for your week. Okay, so for this, we are using the sign of the Times Oracle card. So let's see. Oh, okay. We have recycle, recover. We have labyrinth, journey. And then we have angel numbers, confirmation. Okay. So, in terms of the energy for the week with these cards, it's funny because the first thing I noticed with the serendipity card is that the guest is 1, table 1, guest 1, right? And this card, there's just one hand, so it feels like the energy of this week, even though I'm recording this around the holidays, the energy of this week for you, pile three, may be more so about being with yourself and your own energy, and having joyous moments and happy moments with yourself, right? This person took themselves out to breakfast, and they had all these angel numbers on their receipt, just confirmation that you should spend time with yourself. You should do good things for yourself. Take yourself out on dates. Do things that bring you joy, that make you happy, that make you feel taken care of and comforted and good, you know? And that sometimes we want to do those things with other people. And sometimes we want to just fill our own cups, you know, and spend the day or the days with ourselves, right? And part of that may be because we need to recover. We may have been burnt out from being around too many other people. You may be burnt out from being around too many other people. And so this week you may need to take time to yourself, or there may be times this week where you are around other people. So then you need to like lean more into that energy, right? Of the recover, of the self-care energy, right? It may be that you're overworked or you're overburdened in your normal days. And because you have more time right now, especially like I said, because of when I'm recording this, even though this is a timeless reading, you may and people have more time because of the holidays, excuse me, you may have more time on your hands right now, depending on when you're watching this, because you just, you know, you may be in vacation mode, or you may have, you know, transition jobs or something like that. And so this is a time for you to recover, for you to you know, bring yourself back in, for you to tend to and take care of yourself, so that you can go back out into the world in a rejuvenated, you know, strengthened place. Okay. We also have labyrinth. So for some people, part of the energy of this week may be literally traveling or journeying out to somewhere, venturing out to somewhere you've never been, or going, like just going out in general. You may want to take, like I said, taking yourself on a date, but you may want to take yourself somewhere you've never been. You may want to, some people, it feels like you may want to like go on a hike by yourself, or, you know, like just journey, just venture. We just want to go out. Maybe you get in your car and you just drive and see where the kind of like where the wind takes you, kind of thing, right? For some people, this also feels like for some people this also feels like a drug journey in a sense. You know what I mean? Like and dropping in, what's that shit called? Drop in, tune out, or whatever, when people do acid. I mean, that's an old ass thing, but like it feels like trips, like shroom trips or acid trips, or you know what I mean? Journeying into yourself, journeying into your subconscious, journeying into your mind. Like it feels a little bit like that as well, you know? The other thing about labyrinths are in there you can have a literal labyrinth on your in your backyard, or you know, in your space that you walk, that kind of brings you back into yourself. So like I said, a lot of the energy for this week is about bringing you back into you. It's not about other people and being in community, but it's about like bringing yourself back into yourself, recovering, relaxing, pouring into yourself, taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself, making yourself happy, you know? This is definitely the energy of your week. It's about doing the things that you want to do, taking the time for yourself, moving yourself through the cycles of your energy and how you feel, whether that's going out, whether that's going in, whether that's taking it down, you know, like it's like that's the energy of this. But definitely spoil yourself this week and love on yourself in ways that you haven't been, and in whatever ways that you're able to and that are available to you. Okay, so this is a little bit of the energy I'm getting for this week, pile three. Let's get into some specific things that may happen. So before the reading, I had already pulled some of the specific things that may happen for this week. So let's get into the cards. So we have the Three of Swords. Oh, I remember these now. Okay, so I already pulled some of the cards for the specific things that may happen this week. We have the Four of Wands. You have the Queen of Wands reverse. You have the King of Pentacles reverse. And then you have the Three of Swords. Okay, So, some specific things that may happen this week, starting with the Four of Wands. I feel like I said, it's a week of like recovery, of rest, of things like that. So, part of why you have the Four of Wands and then the Queen of Wands reversed is because I feel like you're not supposed to be so actionary this week. It's not about doing, doing, doing. It's not about just getting shit done or moving or what you do. It's about being in stasis. Like, even though these wands are being used um, for like a party, for some place to rest, some place to come to and just kind of be. They just are. They're not really doing anything. You know what I mean? And so it feels like that's more the energy. Specifically this week, you're supposed to rest. So specifically, you're supposed to get outside. You're supposed to get into nature. You're supposed to just be. You're supposed to just commune with you and nature, right? They also have like a picnic basket in the back, or lunch basket in the back, I should say. And so again, because we had the idea of you taking yourself out in this card, and then you have the basket here. You may want to go out to eat if that's available to you. You may want to take your food outside to eat if that's available to you and it's not too cold. If it is a little bit cold, maybe you just want to like stand outside and have your coffee outside this week, or have tea outside, you know what I mean? Or in some way, like, almost feel, my brain just said like break bread with the earth. That may be a specific thing that you want to do. Or like, if you give offering when you go outside, or if there's a place where you can like leave offering at a tree or something like that, that's a specific thing that you may want to do this week as well. But again, specifically, it's like we're not doing a whole bunch of shit this week. We're not doing a whole bunch of work. We're not moving on the move too much. Like, that's not the energy for your week. You need to be more stasis. You need to be more stationary. You need to be more resting and in a space of comfort and things like that, right? So just to keep that in mind. The Queen of Wands reversed and the Queen of Pentacles reversed to me also suggests that part of the specific energy this week may also be you sitting with your relation to anger, frustration, sitting with the, especially if you're in recovery mode, you may be recognizing that the more burnt out you are, the more frustrated or angry you get, the more negative your disposition is, the more you snap on people, like how that reflects on you. Or, like I said, just your relation to um, like rash action or your fiery nature, and how that may be out of balance in some way now. Or, you know what I mean? And especially, it may come up this week, or it feels more so like you may have been thinking about it, or it's something that's already been coming up, but it's something that you're actually like going to sit with this week, right? Same goes with the King of Pentacles, with the financial aspects. It feels like there's part of you that is sitting with like how much you spend, or how you budget, or your relationship to saving or money, or your relationship to what you feel like you can bring in or what you can have. And that, like, these themes are things that are coming up for you this week, whether that's because something specifically happens, or because that's what's on your brain, you know what I mean? But it feels like these are part of the things that are specifically on your brain this week. And then the Three of Swords is like, I'm over this shit. I'm ready to stop being so angry. I'm ready to stop being so frustrated. I'm ready to stop working my ass off so hard, and not getting the rewards, or having myself be out of balance, and having that fuck up my relationships or whatever the fuck. I'm tired of having this fucked up relationship with money, and what I can have or what I don't have or what I do have, and that not allowing me to have more, or not allowing me to do more, or to bring in more, or to expect more, or whatever it is, right? The Three of Swords is very much giving like over it. Like, there's even by itself, there's specific things that you may be over this week, that you're just not having anymore, that you're not doing, that you're not um allowing others to do. It's like, this shit is up, you know what I mean? Like, this is over, this is time's up, and like, that's part of the energy that it feels like this week too. There may be specifically some people that are hurt by other people too. Like, there may be something that they do that makes you get to the point where you're just fed up and you're just done, you know what I mean? It may not be something that, like, in some cases it may be like, oh, this is the last time for this, or it may just be like, you showed me who you are and I'm just over this shit, I'm not doing this. But it's giving very like finite, over it ass energy. Okay, so this is part of the specific things that I get for this week. Let's pull some more cards to see if there's any more um, specific things that may happen. Okay. Okay, so we had rest that fell on the floor, and we definitely already talked about that. You need to rest, like actual rest, not just sleep, but just being. This week is about just being, okay? Spend time with friends. And again, they're just kind of being. They have cards and tea, and they're just chilling. They have sweet treats, which we talked about in pile two. So maybe somebody from pile two does some baking and brings over some sweet treats for pile three. That would be very cute. Um, yeah, so you may specifically be communing with friends. You may have like a Friendsgiving or something like that this week based on when I am doing this reading. Um, let's see, is there anything else? Oh, we have this card flipped over. Create art. So again, this person is just doing shit. They're doodling. They're just allowing things to come out of them. They're having fun. They're relaxing. So, and then the last card you have is aromatherapy. So you may be utilizing scents this week. You may do a boil and like have that shit go through your house. If you um, are baking something, you may like have that aroma trigger memories or scents for you. You may want to buy, what do you call those things? Like the oils, the wax oils or whatever, or a certain type of incense or something, since you are going to be in your house relaxing or with friends relaxing, that brings in a certain type of energy or a certain type of vibe, you know? Um, because you're just meant to be. So like part of this is bringing in pleasures. Part of this is bringing in things that make you feel good, you know, and doing things that are fun and make you feel good. So this is the specific things that I'm getting for your week, pile three. Let's wrap your reading up by getting some words of wisdom for your week. Okay, so your words of wisdom come from our Chant for Change cards. Om Ritam Nama. Om Ritam Nama. I am in the field of all possibilities. I am in the field of all possibilities. And I think, like we already kind of talked about for this week, um, you are in the field of all possibilities because you're taking time to rest so that you can go back forward and move and get shit done when it's time to, right? But at this point, we have to come back inside because we've been doing a lot of moving, because we've been getting a lot of shit done, because we've been going at it. You know, you have to recover, you have to come back into yourself, you have to tend to yourself so that you're at your you know, your strongest, most energized, you know, knowledgeable self to be able to have the best results going forward. So I feel like everything is at your fingertips and available to you, especially if you allow yourself to recover and rest and recognize the possibilities of the avenues that you can go when it's time to move forward. So this is the words of wisdom for your week, pile three. This is your reading for this week, pile three. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know how this reading was for you. Let me know how your week is, what goes on this week. Share this with somebody else who needs it. If you'd like your own personal reading, definitely book with me. Okay. wildheartbotanica.com. We have 3 new reading options. They are email reading options. We have our live reading option as well. If you're not already subscribed on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or on Substack, subscribe to our monthly collective reading, subscribe to our fairy tale reading. The November fairy tale reading came out a few weeks ago, or no, last week, excuse me. And the December reading will come out in a few weeks. Yeah, follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Tiny Divinations. Subscribe to the YouTube if you are not already subscribed. Share this reading with somebody who needs it. And thank you so much for reading with me. I appreciate y'all as always. If you have another pile, I will see you there. If not, I will see you in your next reading.